3, 2, 1, go.
Right, so a quick update on the S7 facelift parts. Bumper's been sanded down, primed in 2K. The 3 parts have already been painted gloss black. If you come here, we'll show you the procedure of how molds are made. It's going to be a bit difficult now because he's halfway through one. So that's the part sat inside. As you can see, it's black. And what we build around it is some flanges. Well, actually, I'll let the master take over. Malaga, if you want to carry on, but just explain the process. So you get the part, you need it to be in a gloss black, well, in a gloss paint.
First of all, you need it to be in a gloss plane, so fiberglass likes more not to stick on a shiny surface.
Smooth surface.
Yeah.
So if the part is primed, for example, even though you can sand down primer and get it nice and smooth, it's still quite porous. And when you add the gel coat on top, there's a possibility that with it having an uneven surface, the gel coat will grip the primer, and when you make the mold and you try to take the part out of the mold, it'll rip off all the primer off the part, and the primer will be stuck to your new freshly made mold. And the last thing you want to be doing is making a fresh nice mold after days of graft and then find out you're having to sand down and machine polish areas where there's primer stuck to it. So yeah, the easiest option to make a mold and the best possible surface would be a painted gloss surface. So we just use ordinary 2K gloss black, which means it's a black paint with the lacquer built into it, hence the reason why it's called 2K. It makes the procedure quicker. You don't have to spray black base coat first and then lacquer separately. It just means that the process is quicker. Anyway, once we've done that, we add these flanges around the edge. We have to figure out how many pieces we want to make a mold of each part. So this part will be 1 piece mold here, which is already made, 1 piece at the top here, and then there'll be 1 piece at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus another 2 pieces left and right.
Yeah, so another 2 pieces left and right. So this will be a 5-piece mold. If you come here, I'll show you a mold that's nearly finished, and we'll explain what we mean about pieces. So this is the first process, and then this helps us make the first piece of the mold. Once that's dry, then we work against the dried piece of the mold to make the second piece of the mold. So if you have a look at here, I'll take this off. Right, okay, wonderful. So that's 1 piece mold. This is the second piece of the mold. And now the third piece of the mold will be the back area of the part. And it'll work alongside the previous parts of the mold that we've made. And that makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-piece mold that will be. I want to be careful with this. That's a 5-piece mold. These are the S7 front fenders. So that's the front face. That's going to be the second piece of the mold. And that's the third piece of the mold there. So that's a 3-piece mold. So stuff like this takes ages. I mean, we've been to a lot of companies to give them the work, to keep the work in the UK. And instead of sending the work out of the UK, my friend here, my good brother, is from Cyprus, from sunny Cyprus, and he's freezing his bollocks off in the UK, in minus temperatures, just so we can complete our projects. That's dedication and commitment.
That's brother.
One love, brother.
That's
One
brother.
love. Yeah, so it means a lot. Obviously, he doesn't do it for free. He gets paid from it. But still, for somebody to leave their home country, fly all the way, 5.5 hours flight, and be in a very cold, uncomfortable environment because of the weather, not because of me.
Because of you.
No, no kidding.
It's a big thing. So, you know, we couldn't get nobody to do our work here in the UK, and nobody was willing to put the time and effort in. And, you know, a lip like this would take them a month to make, whereas we've been on this for how long? 4 or 5 days?
5 days.
5 days. But in 5 days, he's nearly finished this. He's nearly finished all them pieces there. So yeah, just to let you know, this lip here is for the RSQ8 wide body. That's the lip for the S7. So that's how the part starts off, and then it ends up having a mold made of it. Once that part's been used for a mold, we throw it away. And the reason why we throw it away is 3D printing is the material that we use is cheap. It's not cheap, but it's cheaper than the other materials that are out there on the market. And when that gets exposed to sunlight and a certain temperature, it starts to deform and melt. So you wouldn't want to use that part on a vehicle because you'd have a very deformed car. So we only use the 3D printed part, perfected, sanded down, painted for a mold. Once that's done, we keep that part just in case if anything happens in the future where we've experienced it, haven't we? Where we've tried to take a part out of the mold and it's stuck to the mold. We've had to smash the mold to pieces, so we've had to make the mold again, but try to save the part. So there's a lot involved. It's quite technical, but once you get the gist of it, you know, it's a walk in the park. Everything is in life. You know, nobody can say anything is hard. Once you get used to it,
Yeah.
you just do it, don't you? It
Just
becomes second nature.
you got to have targets
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dedication.
Yeah, so that's another thing. How do we do it, and how do other people not do it? What I mean by that is, a month to make this is a piss take. They won't concentrate. Whereas we give ourselves targets every morning, and we push ourselves to them targets to achieve them. And so far, we're on point, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're better than what we
We're better than what we expected or targeted ourselves to on a daily.
considering how cold is it?
Yeah. Another thing, another issue we have is the temperature outside is minus at the moment, and it plays a big part in curing times. So even though this stuff that we're using has a special winter catalyst, which is a hardener to harden the gel coat, it still doesn't work as it should,
No.
does it? It does work,
It does work.
but it takes a lot longer because of the temperature, and that plays. That's a big issue, isn't it? The temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we could finish in half time.
yeah. So we could have had all this finished by now in 5 days, but because of the temperature, we're having to wait for it to cure before we go to the next step. So yeah, RSQ8's nearly finished. S7 2-part molds are nearly finished. That mold is left to make, which will, I believe by the end of next week, we'll update you. All the molds will be made. All the parts will be then made in the molds and then ready for preparation and painting to put onto the car. This car will then be on the road after fucking hell 4 years.
For years.
Yeah,
It's that long.
4 years. Then we jump on the GTR, the R35. We make. I'm going to paint them next week, so they're a gloss finish for the molds to be made. And I think I've got a problem with the air suspension. I was checking something in the boot and I pulled the air suspension module, and I think one of the pipes has come out, so the front right has dropped down. but nothing that we can't fix. But yeah, this kit next, I need to paint it and then straight onto the molds. R34, it's booked in with Slide Motorsport. It's having a lot of work done that I'm not happy with on the vehicle. I'll make a separate video of the R34 and how I purchased it and where it's from, and you know, the nightmare that I've come to when the car's arrived, and it's just a fucking shambles, honestly. I don't know how people put cars together, but I'm not going to leave it like that. So yeah, a lot of work left to do on the 34. On the 15th of Jan, it's booked in with Slide Motorsport. Top guys, Matt, thank you for looking after me. What else? Molds are getting made for the Lamborghini. They've started. We've outsourced that work, and I'm not very happy, to be honest. The problem we have is they've only put a flange on the parts in 1 month, and in 5 days we've nearly completed 6 parts with multiple part molds. We've nearly completed them, and we're not working silly hours because we did before. We were doing like 18, 19 hours a day, but because it's cold and it's not a nice place to be, we're just doing 9 till 8. Yeah, 9 till 8 on average. 9 till 7, 9 till 8, which is feels like a dream to us. Going home, being with the family, him masturbating at home in his Airbnb room, Netflix and chill. But yeah, that's the update so far on the S7 RSQ8, and this will be on the road soon. And the Q8, yeah. So I've decided to sell all the cars. I'd rather sell the vehicle to someone who's going to drive it. I don't have 10 bodies to drive 10 cars at once. You know, I've used them for development. Yeah, I haven't enjoyed them, but when I stage 3'd this car, it was 642 horsepower. I kicked the living daylights out of it. You know, I absolutely battered this car to test it, to see if it'd been tuned right and if the job had been done in to a good standard. And cameraman can confirm this car is a bullet. It's not
Absolute
1,000 horsepower. It's not 1,000 horsepower. It's not 100 to 200 car. We're not comparing it to anything. I'm talking about my butt dyno. And when you're in this car, out of all the cars I've got, they're all good power, 700-800 horsepower. This is an animal. Not because it's an Audi, it just is. The way it puts the power down, the way it launches, the way it lifts up when you're accelerating, it's just, this car's drama. Yeah, GTR's good, sometimes unpredictable. It likes to kick its rear end out. I love my A7, 582 horsepower, thanks to Has performance. And Dawood. Yeah, Dawood from Manchester. Forgot his company name, sorry.
I would be happy to make the sacrifice and take it off your hands.
Oh yeah. I know you would. Anybody would.
Soon.
Yeah.
Best one.
So yeah, I think I'm going to try and enjoy the cars for a couple of months, and then I'm going to put everything up for sale. S7's 1 of 1, carbon ceramic brakes, 3-piece split rims, 21-inch, Michelin Pilot PS4S's. We've got Forge water to air cooler, custom induction kit. We're running RS7 turbos, brand new. We've done all the plugs, oil, diff oil, gearbox oil, Everything's been done. It's running on factory air suspension with a custom setup. I don't know if I can open the boot. I don't have the key. But if I can, it'll be a bonus. Nah, can't open it. I've put my own air management on this vehicle so I can control the factory air suspension. Yeah, you get an error message, but I think I can code that out by finding the coding from a normal Audi A7 to tell this car's ECU that we're a normal A7 with normal shocks and springs. We are not, this car is not something that came from factory with factory airbag suspension. So we're going to try that next. Once it's on the road, we'll take it to a couple of companies, we'll make videos of that, see if we can eradicate that issue. And then that's it, that's the only issue with the car. The air ride is controlled by your mobile phone and a controller in the car, which is a wired controller. And yeah, carbon ceramics, front and rear. Yeah, this car's got a very good spec. Got night vision, front facing camera. Just a very well spec car. Very well spec car. But I haven't drove it since I've wide bodied it. I haven't experienced what it's like with all the new bits on. So yeah, we'll make a video when this is on the road, which will be quite soon. Yeah, so that's it for now. The next one will be when this car's finished, when the Q8's finished. We'll make separate videos, and yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment below what you like, what you don't like. Do you like our videos? Do you want us to create any other type of content? We're more than happy to listen to your suggestions. Peace out. Yeah.